Hey y'all, uh, I just wanted to have a little disclaimer about this video that you're about to watch. The video is not aimed at anyone in particular, nobody in particular. It's just my thoughts on society in general and life in general the way it is right now. And this is just a touch of how I feel about so many things. There's a lot more that I could say about a lot more of it, and I might eventually, but I just wanted to put that out there. Just my thoughts, just my feelings as far as everything, the society as a whole. And I hope you listen and hear and enjoy what I have to say, or at least hear me. You know, that's all we ever all want, is to be heard. So, here we go. Bye. Hey y'all, it's Margaret from the Just Living Life, the Claire, Just Living Life YouTube channel. I've been seeing a lot of videos lately, and they've been talking about prepping or being prepared, getting yourself prepared. I've watched a lot of videos, and so I wrote down my thoughts on all of this. I hope you take a few minutes to listen to hear what I had to say. It's 9 pages, but it's, you know, typed pages, and it looks more like a poem. And the reason why I wrote it down is so I won't say as many of the in what I have to say. But I thought it was important because it's something that not only I know that we think about, but I know that a lot of other people think about. And I just wanted to speak on how we feel about these kind of situations in our life. So I'm going to read from it, and I'll look up as often as I can because I can't remember all of this. So here we go. So many people say our country, our lifestyles and lives, our children, the newest generation, even some of the one before it, are all going to kaput, into lazy, self-serving lives. Electronics and technology are put to blame, but the truth is, we created the world we are in, and we continue to encourage further advancements, more conveniences, more self-serving lives, which in turn creates lazy and lazier lifestyles, and even lazier future generation and generations to come. Now, I'm not saying everyone is lazy or that no one works hard, because that is far from the truth. But I am saying that many of us, and yes, I'm including myself and my own family, lean towards the more convenient parts of today that helps to make our lives easier. Not necessarily better, just easier. We have gone from generations that knew how to take care of themselves to one who doesn't know even their mother's or child's phone numbers without the use of a cell phone or a computer app. We don't live our lives to live it to the fullest, but to have the most, to be able to give physically the most, to have it all and still not having anything worth having, and then wanting more of what we think we want, but we don't truly even want that. We are in a generation, a season perhaps, or perhaps a century and beyond, that relies on everything and everyone else to provide for them. Work, eat, sleep, repeat. Spend, spend, spend. Then work, work, work some more. Living on the edge of exhaustion constantly. And for what? To have more? To have to spend more? To be able to live? The upcoming generations, on the most part, don't know how to cook or clean or work on a vehicle or garden, how to balance a checkbook, or how to live in reality. Instead, they live in a circle that is never ending, of needing to work more, to have more, because the newest and most recent things are more important than saving or living in the now. Sure, some people have become woke, as so many are calling it. But what are we waking up to? Is there a way of fixing what has become broken in our world, in our societies that have fallen so far from reality, so far from living? It's a want and take world. Want, take, take. Work, eat, sleep, repeat. So many people are talking about prepping. Others are talking about food security, or just life or lifestyle security, trying to get things together so they can live. If things got even worse and they had no choice but to take care of themselves from what they have and do for themselves, not just in a few ways, but in all ways. Many of us have turned to an automatic generation of people who want to do as little as possible for the biggest results, and in some cases that works, but in most cases, to get to the finish line, to have the best, you have to work for it, because it's not handed to you automatically. Just like in a job, you have to work up to being a manager. Many levels, often many years. Time passes, learning, living, falling, getting back up, working harder to get to your end goal. And you just can't sit on your laurels once you get there. You have to have earned your spot there and learn how to stay there. Delegation is fine, but knowing how to teach others what you learned to be able to do what you once did, that is not something that comes automatically. But everything else we want to happen now. We want it to be now. We want simplicity without having to earn it or work for it. I wrote a thesis paper in college that partially touches base on this kind of thinking. I wrote on Occam's razor. His philosophy is basically, the simplest path is usually the right one. The easiest way is usually the right one. That there is often many paths to an end goal, but the simplest one, the easiest path, is the one that makes more sense. It isn't all about convenience, but making our lives easier by following a simpler path to get where we want to go. That is what makes sense. Sure, that sounds like convenience, but in all actuality, it is partially, but only if we put the work into getting and earning that convenience. Another item that really hits home is a song we listen to a lot. It is on my husband's playlist by Miranda Lambert. It's called Automatic. In her lyrics and songs, she talks about how the world has become so automatic, how no one takes time to look up, do for others, do period. Instead of looking at a phone or computer screen to get or find the answers you desire, everyone is into their electronics, be it a phone, a computer, a tablet, or a gaming system. It is all technology. Advancements to make our lives easier, only to set us, our lives, our generations, because we are not teaching the basics, the fundamentals of what our future generations need to survive on their own without having things done for them. without falling and getting themselves back up, knowing they can do it because they learned how to do it while growing up. They learned not just from books, not just from a computer or phone or some other form of technology. They actually put their hands in the dirt, wrap their hands around a wrench or a whisk or a basket, hangers, clothespins, and so much more. We are not taught to learn from our mistakes or to be accountable for our mistakes, to be punished for our mistakes by not having that cookie or not getting to go to that dance or not getting that job or not being able to play on that game or watch that game on TV or show, etc. We are not taught to just be accountable for all we do. We play the blame game. We blame everything bad on everyone else. If it happens and it's good, we did it. We are happy. Life is great. But if something else happens bad, it is not our fault. It is not the fault of him or her or them. Never because of us. Never because we failed at something. We do not teach that it is okay to fail, that we must be responsible for our own actions, our own words, our own reactions. We allow a softer generation to put the blame on everyone and everything else. The truth is, we are responsible for how we act, how we react to others and other situations. Those are our feelings and emotions. And we and only we are responsible for our own feelings. We are also responsible for our words, what we speak to others, about others, on the behalf of others, against others. Those are our words, and we are responsible for them. Once they come out of our mouths, if we say something to hurt someone, we should take responsibility for those hurtful words. Yes, it is up to the person receiving those hurtful words to react or not react to those words. But it is a chain of actions that causes life the way it happens. If a person says something bad to another, say someone they care about, that person decides to not care what that person said about them and decides to go on in their life without that person who said hurtful things to them. Then the original person is hurt because they don't have their special person in their life anymore. But they were responsible for their words. Possible loneliness, anger, hurt, despair, and depression. The emotion list goes on, or the opposite. Happy, giddy, excited for their new future. All because of their original words. The words they were responsible for their actions towards another. Yet we do not teach and push the teachings of being responsible for ourselves and our own actions. We baby, we concede, we coddle, we say it's okay, it will be okay, when it really and truly isn't. It is up to us to take back our lives, our future generations' lives, our country. We have to learn how to live simpler, how to live by example, how to teach, how to learn, how to be, how not to be. Life is simple, but we have allowed our lives to become hella complicated, and we made them that way. So we have to make the changes to change ourselves, our surroundings, our lives, our cities, generations, country, our world. It all begins with us, starting back from when life was no longer automatic, and make the changes needed to learn to use the new technologies just to help learn, not to live. Electronics are doing our living for us. Isn't it time we decide to live for us? in order for us to be able to make changes in our lives, in order for us to have better, do better, be better prepared for our lives, that if we are worried about food shortages or clothing shortages or money, job security, it's up to us to make a change in our life in order to be able to have that security. And we can't pass that security on if we don't do those things ourselves for our own lives. If we don't teach those things to our generations and the younger generations that are below us and below them. Teach them how to be self-sufficient in every manner that we can teach them. That is through being able to do everything from washing dishes, doing laundry, starting a mini garden, something small, just so that they know how to do these things. Know how to keep a backup log for their phone numbers. So in case something happens, they've got the numbers. What if their phone dies? What if we get hit by an EMP or whatever it's called? And we no longer have those electronics available to us. We no longer have those conveniences available. They'll know how to make eggs, breakfast, dinner. They'll know how to wash clothes. They'll know how to create food. They'll know how to do the simple things in life. Change a starter, change an alternator, a tire, change the oil. These are the things that we need to work on in society to make sure that all of our families are being responsible for. Not just our food security, but our life security. And if we're worried about the security in our lives, we need to be worried about the generations of those that are being affected by not having this knowledge, by not having it taught to them now, by allowing them to feel like it's okay to just lollygag through life and do like we did when we were growing up. You didn't have TV like you do now. You didn't have games like you do now. You had to go outside, get fresh air, regular exercise, you know. You had to wash laundry and then hang it up on a line. Those are the simple things and the basic things that we have gotten away from because everything has become a convenience. But we're paying for those conveniences. Our world is paying for it. Our planet is paying for it. Our pockets are paying for it. We're paying for it by having to work all the time to have something that we barely want. Why not work for something that you really want? A better life. And that better life does not have to center around money. Sure, it can. Money doesn't buy happiness, though. Sure, it'll buy things that might give you some happiness temporarily, but it's not going to give you happiness for 100% all the time. Your true core happiness. It's not going to give you the knowledge that you need, because if there's no computers and you haven't learned to read or pick up a book to be able to have the knowledge to be able to understand how to do something, you haven't sat down with somebody and learned how to knit or sew, what are you going to do if you have to do that someday and you don't have the convenience of the internet or technology? For me, when I start hearing these videos about this, I feed off of them. I love them because I believe they're so true. But I think it goes even deeper and even further into what needs to be done for our communities and our states, our country, our whole world. If we each just do 1% better every day for ourselves and our families, then our lives are 1% better every day. And theirs are going to be so much better by the time they're our age. Just 1%. Do one thing new every day. Learn one thing new every day. Say one thing new every day. Strive to be just that little bit better every day. And do that for your family as well. Help your family do that as well. And they're going to be even better than what we are when they're our age. And hopefully our world and our planet and our communities will be that much better too for them when that time comes. Okay, well, that was just my 2 cents and a half. I hope you enjoyed my little thoughts for the day, week, month. I appreciate you taking the time to watch my video and hear what I have to say. If you have any questions or you have anything to say in response to this, please put it down below this video, or send me a message to let me know what you think. Other than that, I hope you have a great day, a great evening, and a great rest of the week. And remember, just keep living your life. Thanks. Bye for now.